Y'all, Wizard101 just announced some really big news. Officially, all the way through the month of July, they're giving every person free membership. That is right. If you log on, whether you pay or not, you're gonna be treated like a paying member. That comes with all the benefits of being a paying member, including access to every zone and every world in Wizard101. You also get all kinds of other things like friends list space, backpack space, all that jazz. Now, it's been almost 3 months since the last time they did, like, you know, a period of time where they gave everyone free membership, and quite a bit has changed. So obviously, I do want to inform everyone who's subscribed here, you know, of the state of things. You know, it is free, you should play. But also, I think there's a lot to talk about in terms of, like, you know, the best way to use this membership period if you're a returning player after taking a little bit of a break. And also some of the really cool things that are about to happen in Wiz that people can look forward to that's very different than previous years. So far and large, let's say that you have membership, you know, maybe, you know, you don't need it to quest. Obviously, questing is probably the best way to use the membership, but let's say that you've already quested a lot. There's a lot of new gear to interact with, especially at max level now. So if you do have the ability to get to max level, what I highly recommend is taking advantage of all the pity systems that they've added since the last time that they added a free membership period. There's a lot of really cool gear that you can craft with very easy to get reagents from 2 new gold key bosses in both Avalon and Mushu, the one I'm at. And what makes his gear so good? Extremely high offense. It just scraps resist so you can hit like a crazy person and have really cool item cards like universal buffs that are hard to get, and just insane offense without all the hassle of having to, like, you know, raid for anything, do like a crazy amount of stuff. And since the last time they did have free member, they also made access to the bosses that you farm for these reagents super easy. All you have to do is go to available badges and scroll through until you see a badge or two with, you know, a present next to it, and depending on the badge, they can give you gold keys. I've done this on all of my wizards to get dozens and dozens without doing any sort of extra effort. I think that is a really cool concept, and since you do need membership to access both of the gold key bosses in Mushu and Avalon, if you are a max level and you want to get some really cool gear without grinding like crazy, I would argue this is one of the best places to do it. The alternative is to farm bosses like Freddy and Montgomery in the final world of Wallaroo over and over again until you get their badges so you can craft the gear that they would otherwise drop. And while that's really cool, I would argue that the effort to get these badges and also the effort to get the reagents to use the recipes is way harder than what they've done with the gold key bosses that they put out in the most recent update. The other thing that's really cool is apparently this is coming very soon. There should be a pretty sizable PvP update upcoming involving a lot of things that people have been asking for. And while PvP is still very much in need of, like, you know, like more balancing changes, what they have done recently does show that they're actually incentivizing people to try out the side activity. They added a bunch of really cool cosmetic gear that people have been asking for years, and this literally happened just between the last time Wiz was free and now. And beyond that, they're gonna be rolling out tournaments, and I want to say a very you know, update that's coming type soon, and that should also add a lot of things that, you know, are related to tournaments, which people used to do a ton. Definitely compared to the past PvP update, during this free membership period, they might do a more sizable update that could actually really make the game a lot better. I want to say the last time, you know, there was anything that affected PvP, the only thing that really changed was that they just banned a bunch of stuns, which, you know, I guess, like, there are certain spells like Myth Banshee that were kind of crazy. Now they're banned. So yeah, I guess PvP did get an update. And while this actually did probably make PvP better overall, it wasn't really big enough to change the meta and the things that were broken with it. I think a meta changing update is actually only going to happen now, so it might be something that could be really fun to experience as a member if people are interested in that. Now, PvP updates that people have been asking for years and better pity systems aside, I think the really big thing that everyone's super excited about is what's going to happen in the big fall update that's coming very soon. See, normally what Wiz does is they wait a year and then they put out a new world and then you quest through the world and then you're done. They've done that every year since, I want to say, 2019, and the reason they didn't do it in 2019 was because they took a break between releasing worlds to basically put out a big dungeon called the Catacomb. What's wild is, for the first time in 5 years, they've already announced that they are going to be taking a break from releasing worlds. They might be reworking earlier worlds. They might be putting out a new dungeon. I feel like all of that is on the table. So this might be one of those years that actually does a lot for Wiz outside of just expanding the, you know, the in-game content. If y'all haven't been watching recently, I just started a new walkthrough of the entire game. I'm signing on for something wild. And one thing that really had me, like, shook had me completely surprised was how different Triton Avenue and Unicorn Way felt to the other two streets in Wizard City. And that's because outside of these free membership periods, Firecat Alley and Cyclops Lane in Wizard City, you have to pay to enter those, but Unicorn Way and Triton Avenue, you don't. And honestly, Unicorn Way and Triton Avenue, they had like cool music. They had like dialogue and music like that were like tied together. It honestly felt less like some questing and more like an experience. What I really, really hope is that they do more in terms of making the entirety of Wizard City feel like that and start retexturing some of the earlier worlds that look like dookie ass. I know every time that they do these like free membership periods, like that is like a really, really like big question. Like, when is this going to be a permanent thing? I would hope that they don't even make it permanent until they really make the earlier worlds like, you know, a little bit more up to date. So it really feels like you're playing a modern game. If they could make the first arc look like, you know, like it's from this decade, I feel like making the game free member would only drive way more players into the game in the long run. I think it would be great for the health of the game. So while yes, I'm hoping for some really cool quality of life changes, I'm obviously hoping for a really fun dungeon to run up at max level or maybe even other levels like the Darkmoor update. But the fact that they're not releasing a world this year, what I hope it means is that they're going to be opening up the window to doing a ton of things that actually make the early game experience way better so that they don't have to charge membership and put paywalls in places where, I don't know, they're just trying to like make the game appear to be something it's not. Right now, it feels like the Wizard City paywall is just trying to like divide what they've worked on and what they haven't. And I feel like that's, I kind of do get it. But like, I feel like if they're gonna like do that type of like, you know, like that where they put the paywall, if they're gonna play all those games, why not finish the job and remove the paywall altogether so the game can stand on its own? That's my hope. And what I'm hoping is, since this is the first year where so many things are so different, that maybe it's a good transition year to like even think about stuff like this. That's what I'm hoping, especially as we see more of these membership periods become a little bit more frequent. Hopefully that is a solid TLDR on the current state of Wiz, and also what's making this time in Wiz so different than every other year, because I do think that's what's happening. And if you're a returning player, hopefully, you know, I described what's really probably worth putting energy into for the week. You know, obviously, you know, people can do whatever they want, but I feel like those things that I mentioned earlier, the key bosses, the stuff that's coming to PP, I really think those are things that are really gonna like change the game for the better. Let me know what you guys are gonna use your free membership for. If all you got out of this video is that they actually happen to give out free membership, great, that's amazing, I've done my job well. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, see y'all soon, and yeah.